Hello
Hey
guys.
everyone. Today we have with us a special guest. I would like to introduce our special guest. He is Prashant. He is staying in Mumbai. He has done his MBA and he works with capital markets. And over the last few years, he began his introduction into the occultic world through palmistry. And then eventually he got interested into astrology. So excited for today's session. Today's session is going to be about Rahu, the mysterious north node of the moon. So we are going to discuss about, we usually come across Rahu as something, as a demon, as a malefic demon that scares the shit out of people. So we are going to demystify Rahu myths. And oftentimes what happens is that whatever we read in books and shastras may not be practically correct in our day-to-day life. So for that reason, today we have Prasham with us to share his practical experience from the research over the years that he has done. Welcome, Prasham.
Hi Sneha. Excited to be here.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. Hope everyone's doing well and are safe in the pandemic.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rahu
That
is
I'm
just
monitoring.
blessing us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Prashant, can you
So
start
speaking
like
of
your part?
Rahu, yeah.
So I'll actually tell you a bit about how I got into astrology. So, whenever
Mm-hmm.
in India there is this huge craze, or a craze is not actually the right word. There's a lot of fanaticism surrounding astrology,
Yes.
and there's a thin line where that the Vishwas becomes Andhavishwas actually. Where that faith becomes sort of superstition. So very thin line
Mm-hmm.
actually, and I saw a lot of people I met, interacted with, and have very very set in stone kind of principles of A, B, C, and that actually doesn't per se apply in the real world. Things adapt, things need to be sort of looked at differently. Like an example is basically when somebody does multiple marriages. A
Yeah.
relationship in today's day is not, it's not probably equivalent in the legal sense, but
Indeed.
intimacy in that sense could be regarded as multiple partners. So you have to be very sensitive in analyzing, and more sensitive in actually passing on what you're saying and what you're analyzing. So
Yeah.
actually
True.
that's where my thing came in. Like a lot of people will scare you off with Manglik and will scare you with Sade Sati and all of
Hmm.
those things. So
Just to scare
that's
people. Yeah.
if actually the way to look at probably astrology is, if you combine it with spirituality, is that it's basically a snapshot of your karma, in effect,
Yeah.
right? It's essentially the
Mm-hmm.
karma that you accumulated, and is a snapshot of what life holds for you, right? And
Yeah.
essentially that is what it is. And probably people ask, why is it that I have such a bad chart, or why is it's essentially just karma. And if you're analyzing a chart, that you should also be humble, we as astrologers should be humble about the fact that we're just actually interpreters of the thing. We're
Yeah.
not really
True.
and in that sense that's a very thin distinction I feel like people need to make. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. People say that things are predestined, then why should we do remedies, or why should we go to astrologers? What's going to happen will happen.
Mm.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is a lot of that things are predestined, but the way to look at predestination is that the fact that you're going to go to somebody to look out, and the person is going to tell you something, is also part of the larger plan. And that's probably
Yeah.
a more logical way of looking at it. And I'm not really a
Yeah.
big believer of a lot of other things, but I do believe in doing good deeds essentially. That's
Yeah.
just sort of
Definitely.
adding up to the
Yeah.
karma quotient.
On top
Yes.
of
Karma
that,
is the
I'll
basis of it.
yeah, I add to that like there are three types of karmas. Like
Mm-hmm.
one which is changeable, one is unchangeable. So if we
Mm-hmm.
do a remedies for unchangeable karmas which are already fixed, it won't work actually. But
Yeah.
which are like changeable or
Kriyamani
yeah,
karma, that is based on our free will, that we can, maybe we are destined to change it.
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
that's
So in
to
that
change
sense,
it
it makes
or
sense.
many
Yeah.
times our determination will change that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is that obviously the aspect of hard work is, a lot of
Mm.
people also ask that is hard
Definitely.
work really there, or it's just all destined. But that's not true. It's a lot to do with hard work. I mean, like, you could look at a chart and say that, this is a favorable placement, this person will do well.
Hmm.
But what is well is very, very, very
Hmm.
subjective, right? You could have become a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but no, you just end up becoming a senior
Hmm.
manager. That's
So, like,
effort for
you
you.
have been in palmistry, so you understand that the lines in our hands can change throughout life and reflect the karma that we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And the
yeah.
question of hard work, and also it's a chicken and egg kind of a situation that, if you have a favorable placement which promises good things,
Hmm.
chances are that you will
Yeah.
end up working very hard towards it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
obviously.
I mean, and
Yeah.
it's just basically you help the person in whatever you can see, and that's
Hmm.
essentially what
True.
this science or art or whatever you want to call it is about.
Yeah.
That is at least been my yeah. So yeah. Having said that, let's move to, since we're talking about all these Andhavishwas and all of that, I think there is no other better
Yeah.
planet to discuss
Start with
than the
our
most
superstar,
feared,
Rahu.
most feared, most maligned malefic, which is Rahu.
Yeah.
And a lot has been said about it in texts with people,
Hmm.
etc. But
Hmm.
now I have a very personal experience with the planet. I've been running its
Me
Mahadasha,
too.
and
Yeah.
and I can tell you, it's not really it's a materialistic planet. It's where your
Yeah.
desires in this world are
Hmm.
going to be very high, and
Yeah.
essentially it is basically the north node of the moon, right? It represents
Yeah.
all the things that you desire more and more of. So if there's a
Yeah.
bike which is running normally, this puts it on nitro boost. So wherever it is placed, it sort of does that. Now the problem obviously arises
Hmm.
that since it's such an extreme and intense planet, if it is placed
Hmm.
badly, it gives bad results. And of course, fortunately, unfortunately, the Mahadasha is 14
Hmm.
years, which is obviously a sizable part of life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little about the planet. Planet is essentially a materialistic, greed planet. Because it's
He
basically just
wants
the
the
head.
best, the finest of everything. He's
Yes,
ambitious.
absolutely.
Yeah, like,
And insatiable because he just has a head. He
yeah.
doesn't have a body. So
Yeah, he's never satisfied. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So now actually the thing is that so if you have to look at it from the practical sense of the world, right, the way we see it,
Hmm.
where do you think materialism in our world works best? What are the aspects of materialism works best? So if you say look at marriage, marriage is not something where materialism works best, right?
Yeah.
Career, income gains, outside world,
Income.
those are things
Yeah.
where essentially hard work, challenges, that's where you have to be materialistic, you have to be cutthroat, and that's where it works well, right? From a
Yeah.
purely non-astrological point of view, that is where
Yeah.
generally it does well, right? That's I'm
Yeah.
saying in the layman's terms, right? Where you have to really
Hmm.
say work hard, face obstacles, face challenges, all of that. So if you boil it down to astro terms, it essentially is stuff which is the Upachya houses, which are basically your 3,
Yeah.
6, 10,
True.
and 11, is where it gives fantastic results. And
Hmm.
it's if you don't have it in those houses, there's nothing to be disheartened about. I think a lot of Rahu is about
Hmm.
the sign that it's placed
True.
in, and it has very strong likes and dislikes. So obviously its friends
Hmm.
are Saturn, Mercury, and Venus. And
I think in the third house also it amplifies the probability of hard work. It
Slowly rising to the top, making use of our skills and
Yeah, the best part like about Mr. Rahu is like it amplifies things. Like
yeah.
uh, if it is negative, it amplifies the negative thing. If it is positive, it amplifies on the positive side a lot.
completely agree with you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, yeah, the third house essentially is obviously the house of younger siblings, of courage, of hard work, of media, all of that, limelight. All of these
Hmm.
things is where generally malefics will do very well, right? Because malefics are harsh;
Yeah.
they can face, the brunt of all of this. They can take it in stride and move ahead and give you great results. And yeah.
Hmm.
Another thing is Rahu makes you work very hard. It takes time to
Yeah.
give its results,
Definitely.
but it definitely gives its results when it's placed favorably. So the third house is one. The second is of course the sixth house. The sixth house is obviously about diseases as well, but here
Hmm.
it's not so much for diseases as much as it's for obstructions, for debt, for competition, all of that, right? And it gives
Hmm.
fantastic results in the sixth house as well because it's a very harsh planet. It can absorb all of that, take it in stride. Like a moon in the sixth house is going to struggle.
Yeah.
It's a soft planet, you know. It's not used to
In
the kind of
Dushtana house,
hard.
anyways, Malefics do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Even a Mars does very well because it's
Yeah.
a fighter, and you know, you need to
True.
be able to fight through the struggle, combat all of that,
Yeah.
come out victorious. So, in fact, I actually saw a chart which comes to my mind, you know, where Rahu was placed in the sixth house of Aquarius, and this girl, she was running her Rahu period, and I mean, it was like the 16th year of it, and it gave great results actually. In fact, she cleared her MBBS from a top MBBS college. She went in to do her masters. Again, went through all of through her own hard work, repeating competition, a lot of challenges that she faced across different spheres that she came across and came across victorious. Of course, with a lot of her own hard work, but yeah, definitely that. And of course, interestingly, she did her a specialization in radiology, and you know, Rao signifies electronic items and all of that. So that was one example. I know another very close friend, his Rahu period for 18 years, it just started in the sixth house. So again, a very great placement, you know, sort of, you know, it's actually one of those planets where, you know, it can single-handedly take people, obviously looking at other things, to heights. Like, you know, provided obviously the lord of the house that it is sitting in is well placed and it's not affected majorly as well. Then, of course, coming to the 10th house, I mean, that's one of Rahu's favorite places because the 10th house is
Yeah,
the
he
career.
loves to be in the spotlight.
Absolutely. So it's obviously the house of career, of the outside world, of all of that. And yeah, that's the place where Mr. Rao wants to be. It's absolutely phenomenal in that place. I mean, you can see charts of, and of course, it represents masses as well. So in some sense, it's also like Saturn, in the sense that it's a little slow in, you know, the initial phases, makes you work hard. But unlike Saturn, which is more about, you know, just practicality, hard work, all of that, Rahu is at do it at all costs. Yeah, and do it at all costs. Do what it takes to sort of, you know,
karma.
Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty much there. And so yeah, 10th house. I've seen Margaret Thatcher has it in her 10th house, and when she started off Rahu Masters,
wow.
What it was. I think we have a very interesting chart. India's leading politician, somebody who's obviously in the political sphere. If you are someone that, you know, you would love to be like if you were in the political space. So this is of course the chart, and this is the chart of none other than our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. And as you can see, you know, yeah. So basically, ascendant matters. Six signs. So basically, it's Virgo ascendant, which is Mercury, and Mercury is obviously in the second house with a debilitated sun. But I think it's fairly strong, given it's the ascendant lord, and you've got Mr. Rahu sitting squarely and nicely at you know, in Gemini and Mrigashira, which is a Mars nakshatra, again a fighter planet. And Mars, mind you, is in the 11th house of fulfillment of dreams. So interesting times, and that's obviously a great thing. And if you could go down to the Dasha period, Himanshu, if you could just scroll down, yeah. So his Dasha for Rahu started in 2003 and is going to go around all the way to 2021. And if you were to just like do a basic Wikipedia search on him, you'd see that his career in politics sort of rose, you know, phenomenally well from the start of 2003. I think he was part of RSS.
Yeah.
With our honorable Prime Minister and all the great things after that. He worked really hard to get to where he was. Of course, interesting part would be probably the Rahu Mercury period, because that is the general election results around the time of 2014. Rahu Mercury are great friends. Rahu placed in Mercury's house. Mercury is in the house of speech. I think doesn't get too much better than that. It's the ascendant himself and the Lord of Career. Then again, another great period which happened was 2019, which was obviously the Rahu Sun period, where it was, I think, not so much Rahu Sun, because I think the results probably came after that with Rahu Moon. But another great period for him, and then he got into the government and, you know, great, you know, things. So it's given all the things that it could. If you could go up, scroll up to you know, the chart actually.
Also, like if we see the Rahu is sitting in Gemini, which is also known as the like birth house of Rahu. Many scholars says like there is like some conflict between the exaltation point, but many scholars says like in Gemini Rahu get exalted. it acts,
Hmm.
and also in the 10th house, if we see the natural zodiac of Kalpurusha Kundli, so 10th house is ruled by Saturn, and Rahu act like a Saturn, like and
Yeah.
also like in 10th house, Capricorn is its own house, if we see, because Rahu has not given any particular placement in the zodiac, but then too Rahu act like a Saturn. So I think like in 10th house it gets extra bala. So that is
Yeah.
also very favorable thing for Rahu. And also,
Hmm.
like as you mentioned, like 11th house also, in 11th house also Rahu gave a prominent result, because in, I think like in natural zodiac, 11th house is also ruled by Saturn.
Aquarius. So yeah.
So that is again the Mool Trikon of
Rahu
Rahu,
is
I
again
think.
the co-ruler of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's a lot of disputed which signs it owns, but suffice to
True.
say that in that sense it's really good because you have a 50% chance that your Rahu is well placed because 6 out of the 12 signs it does well in. That's basically two of Mercury signs, Virgo and Gemini, two of Venus' signs, Taurus and Libra. More so in Taurus, I think, than Libra, but definitely good in
Yeah.
both. And of course, with
Hmm.
Saturn, you have Capricorn and Aquarius. So yeah, all of them are signs that he does favorable in. Now, interestingly, one of the couple of things that you should check in the chart is that where Rahu is placed, where the depositor is placed. If you take a look at this chart,
Yeah.
the depositor is the ascendant lord, and it's pretty well placed in a friendly sign of Libra, with with the Venus sign, and it's in the house of speech and all of that. So the success, a lot of it came through his speech, through his intellect when he used to communicate. Sun, of course, is a significator of the government, and we saw
Mm-hmm.
Rahu Sun period is when he sort of won the 2019 election, came into the government. So all of that, yeah, it's a
Oh.
debilitated Sun, but wouldn't bother much about it. There's a Parivartan Yoga between Venus and Sun also, and Venus is just touching in the
Hmm.
12th house. So it's a pretty, I mean, obviously, needless to say, it's a great chart, but yeah. And again,
All
Gemini is Mercury. Mercury is a significator of communication, of thinking, of strategy, all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have all of that which presents itself to you. And yeah,
Also, we, as you told, like the major period for Amisha is like Rahu Mercury and Rahu Sun. If we see the placement, like if Mercury is giving good results, then there is a combination of Mercury and Sun sitting together. So during being a debilitated Sun, then too its depositor is in like 11th house, Mars, as Sun is in Chitra, and but it's sitting with the Lagnesh, again Mercury. So it is getting the like very strong. It is making the very strong base for that.
Yeah.
true, true, yeah. So yeah, and for a lot of viewers, if they feel that yeah, Rahu is not say in the third, sixth, 10th, and 11th. I think you still have a 50% chance that it's going to give you a good result with if it's placed in a favorable sign and the depositor is good. I've seen Rahu in 7th house in Aquarius, with Saturn in Sagittarius aspecting it, and during the Rahu Mahadasha, the native got a lot of success in a lot of rose very well in the corporate world, worked very hard, was in 7th houses outside world, and got married to the spouse, connection with the spouse, and Saturn was obviously in the 5th house aspecting it, so it was a love marriage, and I think it's not really so much so to get disheartened really. I think it does create some amount of struggle probably in the 8th house if it's conjoined with a planet it doesn't really get along with. But I've actually seen Rahu Mars also give fantastic results in 10th house. People say Samsara Kyog, but it gives fantastic because they're all materialistic planets. So I think they would
Yeah.
do really well placed there. But yeah, so I think probably in the 8th house it would give bad effects, or probably in the second if it's not in a good dignity, fourth if not in a friendly house, it would get havoc and all of that. So there's a lot of misconception that Rahu in the first or Rahu in the seventh is sort of cheating spouse and all of that. That's not really
Yeah.
true. A lot of things need to be seen in that.
Yeah. It boils down to the mentality of the person as well. We have to see other things where moon is, everything else.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you shouldn't jump the gun that Rahu is this and Rahu is that,
Yeah.
because he gets enough and more blame, and
True.
credit where credit is due as well. So, I mean,
True.
yeah.
And one more funny part is that like every planet has only two houses, like or one house. Like Sun rules Leo, Saturn rules Aquarius, and Capricorn. But in the case of Rahu actually rules four houses. Like the houses of Mercury are also like it act as its own house, and Saturn also. So that is the extra benefit. So as you mentioned, like third how in third and sixth also, Rahu gives the great results. So if we see the Kalpurusha Kundali, third house and sixth house is also ruled by Mercury. So it feels like it's in own house. So I've seen many horoscope of IAS where Rahu is sitting in the sixth, and they crack the IAS exam and all.
Yeah, yeah. It's a significator of hard work, right? Like I mean, and
Yeah.
so that's actually an example where people generally say that Rahu is to do with cheating and conniving. That's not necessarily true. If you look at the person who
Hmm.
cracked the IAS exam, obviously there's no cheating in that, right? Through hard work and because of determination to get to a better place, to be
Hmm.
in the public eye, to be it's all of materialism, all of that it's where it does well. And it's not necessary that it's going to connive and cheat and all of that. That's not really true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily true. It could a lot of things depend, afflictions, placements, nakshatras, all of that. But yeah, I mean that's a prime example, good one that you brought up. Like the native I said was a doctor, right? No cheating or anything, all through hard work. A lot of just consistent hard
Hmm.
work, right? I mean, and obviously determination and all of that, which it gives you, drive, determination, all of that. So it's not necessarily negative. Is what is something that's worth highlighting because a lot of emphasis is placed on it being negative, negative, negative. Not always the case, right? So
True.
yeah, that's it. We can move to the other very interesting chart. This is Rahu in the 10th house. We've got a very interesting chart of Rahu in the 11th house. Could you pull it out?
Sure.
Yeah, this is none other than Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
pretty
nice.
much a chart of legends. And if you could just scroll down to the Dasha period, and for
Sure.
all the viewers
Hmm.
who are keen on listening to it and looking at it, just take a look at the period and interlay it with his cricketing career. That's 2002 to 2020 was the period where it was. And in 2011, April is when he won the World Cup, and that again
Oh.
is a Rahu Mercury period. And that was 2000. Everyone remembers that helicopter shot six that he had, right? I think after 20 years that we won the World Cup, and that was pretty much in Rahul Mercury. So yeah, that's just from here. But just go up. It's a very interesting chart, obviously. A very successful individual as well. And so yeah, this is actually Rahul 11th house is a rag to riches kind of story. It pretty much starts with nothing and sort of reaches great, great heights. And probably I would go so far as to say, like, look at this house here. Rahu is in Cancer. It's not really in a friendly sign per se, but the ascendant lord is very friendly, which is Mercury, which is Virgo
Hmm.
ascendant, and Mercury is in the house. It's very strongly placed with Sun in the 10th house in its own house. And so I mean, obviously, greater, obviously, Buddhaditya Yoga is not applicable. People would say it is, but Sun is at the most neutral, not a malefic because it owns one house, but it's definitely not a benefic. So I would say Buddhaditya Yoga is
But
very
Sun
strong.
gets the Digbala, like
It
in
gets
10th
big
house.
bala. Correct, 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 correct. Absolutely. So that's definitely there. But yeah, so enter Rahu, and yeah, obviously, another thing that he was really, really known for, Dhoni, was his out of the box thinking and his unconventional ideas, which is what Rahu gives, right? It's thinking out of the
Yeah.
box, it's challenging the norm, it's taboo, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is
Yeah.
taboo in a positive sense. If you look at it, obviously, your moon is placed in the house, in the ascendant, and you have Venus, which is Lord of the second and the ninth of Bhagya. So obviously makes it very, very strong. And Rahu Venus are great friends.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
this is obviously one chart where it's just Rahu sort of taking everyone along with him and reaching great heights, unconventional. Everyone remembers, right? Everyone's seen the movie or seen that match, right? Where he goes ahead of Yuvraj Singh, and in the entire World Cup he was not in top form, but that's the one match where he decided that I'm going to play when it matters most, right? So that's Rahu for you, right? And that's thinking,
Yeah.
that's strategy, that's all of it. And it's in the house of Cancer. People say that you can look at Cancer as Aquarius also. A lot of people say that, but
Yeah.
despite this,
Yeah.
if you leave that out, also it's Cancer, right? It's significator of the moon, which is the mind, right? So it's
And-
out of the box thinking of the
But
mind.
if you say, see on the other side, like the Virgo sign is also the own sign of Rahu. So if we take that
Yeah.
way,
So
then there is a house exchange between Moon and Rahu.
Yeah.
in a way, yeah.
And of course, Venus is there. Mostly, Venus is adding the luck factor to him in a good way, like that is obviously the Bhagesh, which has actually worked wonders. All of the risks that he's taken, a lot of them have sort of paid multifold dividends. So he's personally one of my favorite cricketers as well. So when I saw this chart, look at it, even in the D9, Rahu is so well placed in the sixth house in Virgo and overcoming competition and all of that. So yeah, that's also what Rahu can make in 18 years' time with, of course, the help of Venus. He's been great. Even if it was alone, it would be a fantastic result. So I think, yeah, that's something that, which nakshatra it's in? It's in
Oh,
Ashwini
also
nakshatra.
Rahu is in Pusha, so
Which
its
is,
depositor is sitting in 11th only, Venus.
yeah,
So the house is getting the prominent result. Like
absolutely.
11th house is a house of desire, fulfillment of desire.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And it's now next with Dasha lined up for him is obviously Jupiter. Which is not badly placed, but that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's what Rahu is. You don't need to align it to give you great results. And look at where the depositor is, and which sign it's in, and yeah, that's about it. I think that's it from my side that I have to share with Rahu.
so we get so many insights of like about Rahu, how we should see the Rahu placement. It's not
Yeah.
about the placement, also the like the we have to check the depositor and the nakshatra lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Even in the Amishah's chart, like there are two house like Viprit Raj Yoga is also playing a huge role in that.
yeah, so it's all about malefics giving good results actually. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that because benefics everyone always associates with good results, and malefics generally that's the psyche on in the older school of thought, which is not really true. A lot of it depends. Like these are prime examples of people making their careers with hard work, intellect, all of that, right?
And
Hmm.
also, if we see in Kali Yuga, malefics will give the good results.
Uh,
Uh,
Yeah, definitely. And Rahu anyways enjoys Kali Yuga with all this technology and everything.
and
In fact, interestingly, a lot of people are saying that this entire COVID crisis also came about with Rahu being well placed in Gemini and in Arbra, and
Oh.
it sort of recently transited to Mrigashira
Hmm.
a few days ago. So people are saying that it's probably going to sort but I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of theories flat out. I mean, you can Ketu, there's Saturn,
In
Jupiter,
Mula.
and Mars
Hmm.
in Capricorn. So a lot of combinations. I think. So it's
Yeah.
not just that, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side, guys. Thanks so much, and stay safe, be good, and
Yeah.
enjoy life, guys.
uh,
Sure.
th- thank you for coming and give
My
your
pleasure.
great insights on Rahu. So we can understand it better. Hope our viewers also like the discussion. And
Yeah.
i- if you
True.
guys really like the discussion, please do subscribe our channel and
Yeah.
uh, please
For
give
more
the
interesting videos like these.
yeah, and also put the comments in the comment box so we'll get to know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.